Capricorns, welcome to your monthly June reading. Your monthly June horoscope. I have a lot of fun. I'm a Capricorn too. I think I tell you guys this every month. So we got a lot going on, my friends. We've got 2 eclipses happening this month. We've got a Venus retrograde. We've got Mercury retrograde. Sun Venus conjunction happening. Mars Neptune conjunction happening. Okay, Mars is going to leave your 3rd house and enter your 4th house. We'll be there for 6 months, focusing on home and family. Lots going on. Let's get into it. First, I just want to say thank you for hanging out with me. Appreciate you. I did not put the May horoscopes out. I was very torn with certain things. As an astrologer, I want to put out the best information and to give you accurate stuff that's going to help benefit your life and empower you and inspire you to live a joyful life, right? And it's important that we understand this. The intricacies of astrology is very precise and very unique to us. As we're dealing with the general overall of what's happening for a month, you know, if you're a 0 degree or a 2 degree Capricorn, this chart is a lot different than if you're a 28 degree Capricorn, okay? Because of how the houses line up for you. So if you're a 2 degrees or early degree Capricorn, this chart is nailed it. You know, if you're a later degree Capricorn, you might resonate with the Aquarius video, right? Because the houses are going to more accurately line up with things for you. So if you know your chart, the better it is, and you're going to be able to navigate to the right videos and the right information that you need. Hopefully I can do a good job pulling it from source to give to you. If you want a private reading from me, as always, feel free to reach out. My email is in the link below. Let's get into it. On the 3rd, we've got Venus-Sun conjunction, okay? Super cool, happens once every year and a half. Every 13 Venus years is 8 Earth years, and they align 5 times, creating a pentagram around the sun. This is true, you can look it up. That's sacred geometry. This is Fibonacci numbers, okay? 5, 8, 13, 21, 34, 55, 89, 144, 233. This is the golden ratio, the golden spiral of life, okay? So this is a very unique thing that happens every year and a half between our planet Earth and Venus and the alignment of the sun, okay? Very, very cool, very powerful. I will put out a separate video about this as well, getting into some astrotheology, all right? That's on the 3rd. This is going to be happening in your 6th house, so this is about career. This is about you giving back, really. This is about your services to the world. Are you loving what you're doing? You know, this is the epitome of this. It's like, if you don't love your job, you're going to hate it. And then you're going to not do well at it. You know, so this is like, hey, I've got to rethink on the services and the things that I'm doing in this life to make a buck. You know, where Saturn's at, 2 degrees, or 2nd house, making money here. I've got to rethink and reevaluate things. I need to survive this life. I need to be financially stable. You're a Capricorn. You will be financially stable. You're going to, you're going to make sure of it. All right. But this isn't making sure that you're, this isn't just about the pantry being full and the bank account having enough zeros at the end of it. This is us being emotionally fulfilled. Okay. Venus is what we love, want, and desire in life. And sure, we're Capricorns, we love money. We appreciate, it's not even about loving money, it's about the security, right? It is. It's about the security. It's about knowing, hey, I can afford to eat today. I can afford the luxury of turning my lights on. I don't have to live this way. And I'm going to work hard to achieve those things. That's the epitome of Capricorn, the hardworking Capricorn, right? So this being in our 6th house is like, it's not about the zeros. It's not about the bank account. It's not about the luxuries and the spoils. This is about, are we happy doing our service? Because if we're not, all of those things are worthless. And we're going to hate it because it's about living our best life right now, right? We've got all this energy in Capricorn. This is about living our best and making sure that we're living each day happily and joyfully. And that's not a far-fetched dream. That's it's something very possible. It's something Alan Watts talks about a lot. I refer to him a lot on my channel here. It's about living and doing it. This is an old expression. If you love what you're doing, you're never going to work a day in your life. Okay? So that's part of this month. That's been going on May into June with this retrograde, okay? And on the 3rd, this conjunction is really going to highlight that. So making those moves, whatever you're going to do, make those money moves, Capricorn. Now on the 5th, we're going to have a very far off lunar eclipse happening behind the scenes in your 12th house, okay? So The North Node will be here at 29 degrees of Gemini. The sun will be at 15 degrees, the moon will be at 15 degrees, which means the south node will also be 29 degrees of Sagittarius. So thankfully the nodes are out of our signs. We've learned whatever we've needed to learn during this part of ourselves, saying let go of part of our ego, letting go of part of our control issues or whatever's been going on in our lives that have been dampening our relationships, you know. So anyway, so this eclipse that's going on the 5th, this is about behind the scenes. This is something to deal with karmic endings and completions, okay? This is leveling up. This is becoming wiser. And because this has to deal with the two signs associated with knowledge and wisdom, you know, this is knowledge in this gray area where this is, you know, this is how you perform an open heart surgery. This is, well, I don't know. I know it can be done. You know what I'm saying? So this is like possibilities, and then this is like this execution of higher knowledge, and it's just like, okay. But the South Node being here means we're not entirely sure if this knowledge is accurate, which is extremely important, okay? You know, it's just like, okay, well, Sunday is Sunday, and it's a day of worship, and, you know, if you're, you know, believe in a certain religion, you know, then that, you know, Sagittarius deals with religion. And philosophies. So it's like if we believe in a certain religion and we've taken that as gospel, if you will, no pun intended, we might start rethinking things, okay? Because we're fully seeing the shadow, or we're fully seeing the illumination here of our moon, or of our emotional needs here in the 12th house, that there is something going on behind the scenes. There is something dealing with knowledge and philosophy and religion that's not adding up. Okay, and because we are focused on our work and services to others, we have to make sure that like this knowledge is coming through is accurate, because we also, as a Capricorn, want to communicate accurate knowledge. All right, so there's something going on here. We're seeing the shadow of Earth on this full illumination. So we're seeing our own shadow, maybe our own quantum entanglements. Okay, where have we done something that's created an effect, rippled through by, you know, our creative endeavors and passions of works that we've done that have now created something on, you know, the other end here. So we're going to be seeing whatever that is. It's going to be coming up. This is on the 5th. All right. Now on the 13th, excuse me. Really cool one here down in the 3rd house. Also concerning knowledge, because this is the 3rd house, which is associated with Gemini. Okay, so we have Mars, our planet of action. We're gonna have the moon right here at 21 degrees ish. Okay, Mars, our planet of action. Neptune, our planet of dreams, and the moon, all conjunct here on the 13th. What does that mean? This is about, again, about knowledge. This is about looking at both sides of the coin. This is about appreciating. This is so important, and this is a lot of what this Gemini energy is teaching us right now. I personally cannot tell you a single bad instance in my life that didn't blossom into a positive one. I can't sit here honestly and tell you this was bad and period. No, you know, it's like no manure, no magic. This bad thing turned into positivity over here. Okay. It's extremely important that we become aware of this and we're not closed off from that concept, you know, that there's always something positive that happens from every negative. This is the laws of karma. This is how the world works. All right. So this happening here in the 3rd house of knowledge, information, as well as siblings. So there could be something going on here with siblings. Maybe you're communicating, getting together, locks, lift, or something like that. And you get to see your family members you haven't seen in a while. Could be a potential possibility. Otherwise, you know, you have your emotional needs lining up with your actions. So what you need, you're driving toward, and that's connecting with your dreams. How cool is that? And this, again, in the 3rd house, deals with communication and information and knowledge. Okay, so there's dreams coming into fruition and goals that you've been working on for quite some time that get a healthy boost this month. Okay, on the 18th, Mercury here in your 7th house of partnerships and relationships is going to start retrograde. We're going to start rethinking things, rethinking perhaps a relationship that we're in, or a partnership we're in, or a relationship with something or someone. Okay, now during this time, Venus is retrograde until the 24th. Okay, which means that we have just about a week of Mercury and Venus both retrograde at the same time. Venus being what you love, want, and desire in the sign of Gemini, which is about communication, thoughts, all right, ruling or associated sign with Mercury. Mercury retrograde in the sign of Cancer, which deals with our emotions. So these two are playing on each other in a very, very beautiful way this month. Okay, as difficult as that week may be, the 18th through the 24th, it might be difficult. It might be a breeze. We're all going to be feeling that. Okay, we're all feeling that. And this deals again with our 6th and 7th house. So we're going from, our work and our services that we're putting out there to the world, and our relationships and our partnerships, stuff like that. All right. Huge. So this Mercury retrograde is going to be pretty intense, because as well as this is like when you see something in Cancer, this is where things go hiding. All right, Capricorns, we have to communicate. We have to communicate our emotions, and that's something that we are not good at all the time. We're very emotional, we're very loving and very committed, but sometimes we have a really hard time. I'll be fully honest with you. It's like saying I miss you. It was a very difficult thing for me to say to someone. Being openly vulnerable. Maybe you can resonate with that, maybe you don't, but it's just like, well, if I say I miss you, that means I need you, and that makes me weak. And it's just like, it took me years to be like, oh no, I'm just letting somebody know that I enjoy their presence, but at the same time, because I'm a Capricorn, instead of saying I miss you, what do? Hey, do you want to hang out? Do you want to get together? So that would be my action. I'm a Capricorn. I'm going to get to the top of the mountain. I want to solve the problem. I want to solve the issue. If the emotional thing is I miss feeling being around this person, well, what's the solution? Being around that person, right? So, but me not being able to say, hey, I miss you, that's really powerful for the other person, as well as it's powerful for me to be vulnerable. Okay, so there can be something, maybe that's going to resonate with you, maybe it's not, maybe you just think I'm cold, but it makes sense, right? The logic behind it is like, well, I'll just solve the issue and call you, let's hang out. You get it. Anyway, so there could be something along the lines of that might be coming up for us this month. Okay, and just to be like, hey, I need to express myself. I need to express my emotions, and especially in the midst of all these eclipses that's going on right now, because this total solar eclipse that's happening on the 21st will be in the sign of Cancer, and then Mercury also will be retrograde in the sign of Cancer at that moment in time. Venus will be retrograde in the 6th house at that time in Gemini. So it's important that we're communicating those things, even if we feel weak, vulnerable, scared. It's a sign that it's good. It means it's a sign that we're growing and we're allowing the water to change us. Okay, the water is the river and we are the mountain. Okay, and that water is going to flow and slowly change our strong, rough, coarse edges. Okay, to be smooth edges and refined. So we're allowing this emotion to create the necessary change in our lives. It's necessary. Necessary change, it's necessary. We'll roll with it. To be both, to balance our emotional body, to balance our communication, and not just be, business or goal or solution orientated, but to be empathic and emotional and caring. Okay, so Venus retrogrades ends on the 24th then. On the 22nd through the 23rd, 22nd through the 30th, all right, really powerful. It's happening in our sign. Jupiter and Pluto are going to conjunct again. Now, this is really important for us, all right, as this deals with a misuse of authority, and this is absolutely something we're seeing here in the United States right now with the George Floyd protests and peaceful protests turning into riots and a misuse and abuse of power. Okay, so Capricorn is the power, it is the government, it is authority. And because you are a Capricorn, you are the authority. Hands down, right? You were born this way. So Jupiter and Pluto, this is saying, hey, am I misusing my power? Am I misusing my authority in ways of manipulation that I'm unaware of? Either way, there's something coming up here at the last week of the month about a misuse of authority. And I can say that because this is in our first house, this is us. This isn't somebody else. Where every other sign I've been reading this for, this is saying it could be you, it could be the other person. This isn't a question, guys and gals. This is us. This is our doing. How are we misusing our authority? How are we misusing our power? And sometimes that can be overly bearing on somebody else. Okay, it could be overly bearing on somebody else. Or it could also be not respecting boundaries. Not respecting our personal boundaries. Who am I the authority to on myself? Am I giving myself enough time to meditate? Am I allowing the space enough time in a day for me to sit down and do yoga, or to sit down and exercise? You get it. To exercise, so are we misusing our authority? Oh, I just don't have enough time today. It could be something like that. Oh, I don't have time for that. Or I'm so busy. And it's just like, BS. You have time, because there's going to be a time in our lives where we can't. Truly, where we don't have the ability to go to the gym and exercise, or we don't have the ability to meditate or do yoga. Well, meditate, I don't know. We probably always have the opportunity to meditate. But you understand what I'm saying? Like, so this isn't, this might not just be about you being overbearing on another individual. It very well could be. But it's a misuse of our own power. And that can come out in many different ways, so that's obviously going to be unique to you. Now, the last thing that's happening this month is on the 27th, okay? Mars is going to leave the 3rd house and enter the 4th house. So Mars is leaving this place of communication and information, siblings, rivalries, and then we're moving into home and family. And it'll be there for 6 months, okay? So home and family for 6 months, Mars is saying take action here in the home and family front. And with all the Capricorn energy, we're going to start squaring Jupiter, Pluto, and Saturn later on in the year. Again, Mars will be there until January 2021. It's a very long time for Mars to be in a sign. It's also a very long time for Mars to be in its home sign. It's also a very long time for Mars, our planet of aggression, to be in the sign of Aries, which is like, now, I want it now, I need it now, so we can, with this, I'm just saying, with this misuse of authority, this misuse of power, with this aggravated aggression moving forward into the home front, we could see a rise in domestic violence. I hope that's not the case. We can see a rise in just arguing with our partner. And again, Venus is retrograde until well, again, it's, who knows, where is this in your chart? Without knowing your chart, this is hard to say when this is actually going to hit your 4th house, but it's going to. This could also be like wanting to do something so bad, and again, putting the carriage before the horse. This is like, we need this now, and then it's like this hurry up and wait. It's like, why were we rushing? What were we rushing for? So there's a bit of excitement, as well as a bit of precautionary energy that's going into Mars being in Aries for 6 months. Okay, we're gonna want to take action. And what's stopping us from taking action? Nothing. And you're the authority. What's stopping you, the authority, from taking action? Nothing. How are we using this authority? How are we using this action? Where are we going with it is important. And that's up to you, right? So we'll talk about it obviously a lot more as that happens. Thank you for hanging out with me. I mean, you got a beautiful month ahead. There's a lot of growth, a lot of change. There's a lot of self-reflection, this karmic ending of cycles that's going on behind the scenes with the eclipses, or at least with the first eclipse here in June, or the 5th of June, the one on the 21st, happening in your 7th house, 6th, 7th house. It could be either, again, depending on your chart. It's about work, and it's about your relationships with other people. Okay, so it's a beautiful month ahead. Thank you as always. We'll see you tomorrow for the dailies.